All righty. All right. We are live. What's going on, guys? Sorry, we're a few minutes late. Couple of tech issues. That's always fun, but hope you guys are doing awesome. Matty Ice here from Leads for Locals and founder of Elite Broker. We've got an awesome freaking training for you guys today. I'm so excited to do this. If you've been around for a little bit in this industry, you know about the ERC Tax Credit. And today we're talking about specifically the sales side of ERC and how you can actually close more ERC deals. We're going to talk a little bit about how ERC works and bottom line concepts and all that. But the main focus for this training is going to be how do you close more deals? How do you handle objections? What's a good sales process you can put in place? How do you educate business owners? What do you say on the phone? Things like that, right? To make sure that you push that deal forward and we actually help the business owner. You guys make these massive commissions. Now, if you're not too familiar with ERC or bottom line concepts or anything, which is who we've partnered with to offer the ERC tax credit to these business owners, I'm going to have a ton of stuff and resources in the description. I will drop some stuff in the comments throughout the training as well. If you want to get signed up with Bottom Line Concepts to start offering the ERC tax credit. But we also have training that I've done that goes into a lot of detail about how the program works, as well as marketing as well. Things like Facebook ads, LinkedIn, using social media platforms to generate ERC leads. So make sure you check that out in the description because, again, we're going to be talking mostly the sales side of the business so you guys can close more deals. So also one other thing, too. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments throughout the call. And then at the end of the call, we'll do a Q&A. We'll go through all those questions and get those answered. So just as those questions come up, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll see them and then we'll bring them up afterwards. So with that said, I would like to introduce the man himself, Alejandro from Bottom Line Concepts. He has been kind enough to put some time into this training here for us. We're also going to have Michael Glick come on in a little bit too. So Alejandro, really appreciate your time. How you doing today, man?
Doing great. Matt, thank you so much for having me on today. To everyone on the call, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Alejandro Gonzalez. Just as Matt said, I am a referral partner manager with Bottom Line. And, the whole goal for the training today is to maximize your success, right? To be able to give you that guidance that you guys might be needing. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free throughout the duration of the call today to feel free to go ahead and ask away in the comment section in the chat.
For sure.
But to go ahead and get started, if you guys are brand new and have never heard of Bottom Line or have never even heard of this program or are just very much so beginning, Matt, please go ahead and put in the chat whenever you get a chance that link so that they can go ahead and sign up so that way they can get their welcome emails to get started. As soon as you guys have signed up, guys, it's very simple. You'll be receiving a welcome email with a link over to our resource center, a link with a personal marketing link that is specifically encoded to you to make sure that you receive all credits as far as any clients brought in to us, and a link to some onboarding calls as well for additional training. For everyone here on the call, just to start off with some basics, ERC is the Employee Retention Credit. Back in 2020, under the Trump administration, under the CARES Act, is when it initially first came out. At the time, it was limited to only $5,000 for the entire year of 2020. But then in 2021, when the new administration came in, they made changes to the program, which allowed for businesses to now take both PPP and ERC. They also increased the amount that a business could get up to $7,000 max per employee per quarter for the first 3 quarters of 2021. And third, and most importantly, they made it much easier to qualify, right? Which is if a business had went through a COVID operational impact. So with that said, those are just the basics as far as the programs goes. Going into it a little bit further, right over here, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys really quick.
Yeah, that should pop up in a second. And also, while that's coming up, guys, to the link I dropped, that's our ERC partner form. Go ahead and fill that out. And then once you do, you'll get an email with a calendar to book a call, have a conversation with the team, make sure it's a good fit for you guys, and move forward. So make sure you check that out. All right, here we go. There. All right.
All right. Is it live? Can everyone see?
Yep, we're good.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, guys. So for everyone here on the call, whether you're new, whether you've been a veteran with us already, over here is one of the links that we provide for you guys, which is the Referral Partner Resource Center. And as far as information goes on ERC, and even from a sales perspective, right? This information here is a gold mine for you guys that we've provided for you. So let's go through real fast. As you scroll through, we provided for you guys a ton of information. So once you scroll through right here towards the bottom, you'll be able to see the Referral Partner Resource Center. Over here, we've provided for you guys an email script that you guys can go ahead and utilize, edit based on whoever you're trying to target. A little bit more information on the 2 ways of qualifying. We also address the IRS warnings that have come out within the past few months as well. Great information as far as questions for business owners whenever they do have any questions and for reaching out. Now, as far as marketing materials, we also do provide some as well. Right over here, we provide you guys with US state one-pagers. So let's say if you're trying to target a specific business owner based out of the state of New York, this right here is incredible. So once it loads up, you'll be able to see these are some of the clients that we've worked with based out of the state of New York, right over here, along with testimonials directly from CEOs and CFOs that we've worked with. Now, over here, we do provide those for all those states listed right here, and we are continuously adding on to this as well. But if you guys wanted to take it even a step further, right, over here, we have industry one-pagers as well, to where if you're trying to reach out to your local dentist office, your local dry cleaners, colleges, high schools, universities, right? Over here, we've provided for you guys essentially the equivalent of the same of what you just saw, right? To where, let's say if we're going with franchises real quick, you'd be able to see some of the franchises we've worked with, along with testimonials directly from the CEOs and CFOs. Let's see here. Oh,
and Alejandro, real quick, this is kind of new, right? This resource center. This is
absolutely.
You guys have recently updated this not too long ago. I was on there yesterday after the your guys' call, and there is a ton of new resources in there. Like those one pages are just freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean to be able to just firsthand see and witness all the companies that we've worked with, you know, top Fortune 500, top 1,000 companies within the United States, and even your small local businesses as well. The outreach that we've had through this program has been absolutely incredible, and to be partnered, you know, with these clients coming in to Bottom Line, to be able to have this reputation that we've built, and for you guys to be working with us as well, just speaks volumes as far as what we can achieve together. This is what we've been able to achieve so far, and I'm looking forward to the future as we continue to grow and prosper.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But real quick, I do want to take a quick moment here. I see Michael Glick just joined. Hi, Michael.
How we doing, everybody? You can hear me?
Mr. Glick. Yes, sir, we can. How are you?
Good. I had to download Google Meet and all that good stuff, as I don't use it often enough.
Yep. Yeah. The tech side is always the fun part. So, but we appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, we were just doing a quick intro on BLC and the new resource center and stuff like that. Excited to get in the sales side, but yeah, Alejandro was doing a really good intro there.
Awesome. Alejandro, keep going, and then when we get to questions and answers, we can, you know, and I'll chime in if we need to.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go back to sharing the screen real quick, right over here. There we go. You guys should be able to see this right here.
Yep, there we go.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, you have all this marketing material that you guys, it's at your fingertips. It's for your disposal. It's for you guys to be able to use for all marketing purposes, whether you wanted to use them for emails, whether you wanted to print them out and go door to door. We provide you guys with this material to be able to show the credibility of the company that you guys are working with. Now, taking it a step further as well, right? From a sales perspective, something that I learned not too long ago, which was phenomenal advice, is, you know, really put yourself in the business owner's shoes, right? Take the time to really think. If I was a business owner and I was approached by me, right, what would be the questions that I would ask you, right? And it doesn't have to go too in depth, because at the end of the day, we're not the expert. You're not the experts, and we're not expecting you guys to, right? The whole goal for a referral partner is just to make those introductions for our advisors to speak with that client, and we take it from there. So if anything, I just strongly encourage for everyone here on the call today to just take 15 minutes of your time. Look over these FAQs, because in turn, this is going to be 80% of the time the questions that these business owners are going to be asking you. And it's very basic stuff. And to be able to confidently answer those questions when they ask, they're 100% going to be ready to be able to take that phone call with the advisors.
Right.
And then last
so
but not least,
real quick, you would say that the majority of the questions, like when reps are doing the intro and they're generating leads or having conversations, introducing the ERC tax credit to business owners, these are the most common questions that they're going to get, that they, at the very minimum, they should be able to answer before they pass on, they move the lead in contact forward to you guys, right?
Absolutely, 100%, right? We always say that you don't need to be an expert in ERC, but a good working knowledge of the program is definitely going to help you when you approach your business leads.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's just kind of sales 101. You have to know the basics of what you're selling here.
Absolutely.
And I love that you guys organize that in an FAQ style. That is really cool.
Yeah, you just click these little plus buttons right there, and then you'll be able to see the answers. Very simple, quick read, guys. Now, and last but not least, over here, we have provided for you guys as well an entire rainbow of some of our clients that we've worked with. So as far as credibility goes, I can't think of another company who's had this level of clientele list. I mean, just ever, right? To be able to see the outreach in so many different industries. And it just goes to show how incredible this program has been as well, on how many businesses we've been able to impact and help.
You're at, I think it's, you're about to cross 40,000, isn't it? 40,000 businesses?
Michael?
Yeah, just about right there. And that's, over 60,000 submissions, because everything is done quarterly. So it depends on, on the amount of quarters that we do for each client. But yeah, it's tremendous, right? 40,000, about 6 billion recovered.
And that's that it seems like such a large number, and it is, but it's also still such a fraction of the number of small businesses that would qualify for this. Because I get asked pretty frequently if there's still an opportunity to do ERC tax credit. And even as many businesses as you guys have helped, and other companies as well, it's still like a fraction of all the business owners that could actually benefit from this. So the opportunity is still huge.
Definitely a tremendous amount of businesses that haven't done this. The majority of them at this point probably have heard a little something about ERC at this point, right? But the amount of businesses that were told they didn't qualify, either a long time ago or just recently by somebody who was advising them incorrectly, that's going to be the most common response. My CPA told us that we didn't qualify for this. We don't qualify for this. And what the biggest push here is to try to get somebody to a call to let us show them the path to how they do qualify, right? If there's a possibility you can get, $10,000 to $15,000 per employee by doing it right, by working with the right firm, by making sure that you're only qualifying for the time periods and the amount of money that you qualify for, then why wouldn't you take that path? Even if somebody said to you before, hey, you don't qualify. So a lot of times when you approach somebody, they will say that to you and you say, oh, absolutely. We hear that response all the time. We're not asking anything more than a phone call, right?
Right. And I think that's why I've been so grateful to work with you guys for as long as we have. And like I said on yesterday's call, like I've had a lot of people approach me with other companies, which is fine. That's great. But man, it's crazy to think that there's a lot of business owners out there that are being told that they can't do this. They don't qualify, but they actually can. Maybe they can't, but there's a portion of them that actually could qualify. And that's why I want to stress to you guys, the audience, who you work with in this business with this type of product, it makes all the difference in the world, right? You've got to make sure that you are partnering up with the right people. And for me, it's always bottom line concept. So again, I'll have a link in the comments to fill out that partner form if you guys want to get started. There was one distinction that actually both of you guys have now talked about, is the distinction that I think is really important for our audience to recognize here, is that you're not actually selling the ERC tax credit, you're introducing it, and then you're passing them along to bottom line concepts at that point, where they're going to take it over and actually close the deal. They're going to do all the paperwork. They're going to do the follow-up and stuff like that. And I think that's just such an important distinction to make. So can you guys talk a little bit more about how that arrangement works?
Yeah, I mean, very simply, when you join as a referral partner, you're driving everything to a personal link that we're giving you. I don't know, Alejandro, did you show the link yet or not quite yet?
No, I haven't showed the link just yet. I did show them the resource center.
We'll go to that in a minute. So very simply, you are here to make introductions. You are here to use your relationships or use your skills, use your marketing skills to reach people at the right time in an appropriate way to basically ask them that question, have you heard of, or have you filed for ERC? Right. Once you get them to us, we're going to do everything in our power to get them to understand the process. They're going to get on a call with us. We're going to talk about them. We're going to understand how they qualify. We're then going to talk about bottom line. And from there, the goal is obviously to pre-qualify them and then get them to eventually get an agreement that we're going to send out to them. And once they sign that agreement, then the real work begins, right? So, but again, once you've made that introduction, that's everything goes in our hands, and that's all you're trying to a reputable company, obviously.
Right. Let me, if I could ask you kind of the sales side of that really quick. What do you find are some of the common mistakes maybe that reps make when they're making the introduction to the ERC tax credit that maybe causes it brings up more objections than maybe they would otherwise get? Like, are there some common things that they should avoid?
Listen, people are wary. They're wary of scams. When you approach to somebody that you may get, $15,000 back from an employee, it sounds too good to be true to be true, right?
Right.
So stay aware for, it's free money from the government. We don't want to we're not bragging anything, right? This was a law written. They gave certain parameters. It's based on wages, right? It depends on the wages that you paid. But again, if you did this and you had either the revenue reduction or a more than nominal impact to your business with government orders that you're entitled to, right? So again, this is money that a business owner is entitled to. They pay payroll taxes every single week their entire lives. This is the one time in history that the government's saying to them, we're going to help you and we're going to give you even more money back on PPP as long as you qualify. Right. And it's up to our firm to take a look at that client, to work with them, to make them understand the path to qualification. Some are easy, some are more challenging, and get them to go through the process so we can help them retrieve and unlock the key and get them these funds.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. So I think, again, guys, that's just an important distinction. Remember, you are making the intro, and then when you become a partner, you get access to that resource center. I mean, that FAQ right there, you should just have that pulled up. Anytime you're having a conversation about ERC, if you're doing calls or whatnot, you should just have that FAQ pulled up right then and there. Because like Alejandro said, that's going to be the majority of the questions that you usually get. One other thing that, so I've had this brought up to by some of my clients and brokers when they're on a call with the ERC tax credit. The business owner will ask, what is this going to cost me? What's your hourly? Like, we've even had people ask, like, what's your hourly rate to do this? How do you recommend reps handle that specific question?
I mean, very simply, we work on a contingency fee basis, and it's always been our model since the beginning of time, right? We find the savings for the client, and then we take a share of that, right? So it's all on contingency fee basis. So there's no charge to the client up front. And in fact, until they are funded, only when they are funded does our contingency rate come into play, right? And on average, we charge between 15 and 30%. 30% is more rare these days, right? It's really 15 to 25%. And our average falls right around maybe 21, 22, 23%. It's based upon the size of the business. So it is a rolling for the size of the business. And again, what they're getting with bottom line is they're getting an absolute, accurate, conserved legal application in which they can be confident that if there is ever an audit down the line, that they have been already vetted, that we're going to assist them in any single way, and that we basically have done this perfect filing for them.
I got you.
And just to jump in to add on a little bit to that as well. That question, I can see sometimes referral partners, they may have a fearful mindset when they get asked that question or when they're thinking they might get asked that question. And in turn, use it to your advantage, right? As a referral partner, your number one goal is to make that introduction. So if someone asks you, okay, this opportunity sounds great. What's the price? Be honest. The price depends. They work entirely on contingency, and pricing depends on the size of your business. So go ahead and jump onto a call with one of the advisors with Bottom Line, and they'll go ahead and be able to really see if you're eligible for this program and be able to jot that down for you.
If they ask the price, we try to defer as much as possible to have that contingency offer come out at the end of the advisor call, right? So we're trying to say, listen, we're introducing you to a certain organization. They do have a sliding scale depending upon the business size, but they will discuss everything, including that on the call with you. And again, it's a discovery call to understand your path to get these amazing funds that are possibly available to you.
Right. No, it makes sense. I think that word contingent is key in that, because there are companies that charge up front. I've seen that before, I think.
Yes.
Where they charge up front a pretty sizable amount, and then the business owner has to wait 4 to 6 months to finally get it, which that can work. But
Yeah.
I mean, I would much rather, if I'm the business owner, I would much rather work with someone on a contingency, like when I get paid, you get paid type of deal. So I think that's really
a lot of these smaller businesses don't have cash flow to put up stuff like that. So it's obviously going to work very well for them, especially if, again, they need an expert to do this for them, period. Right.
Right. Yep. Okay. Can we do I wanted to put or just go through a kind of a quick roadmap. Actually, before we do that, there was one other question I had about the process. So when after a rep introduces a business owner to you guys,
Mm-hmm.
what should the rep be doing at that point? Should they be following up on a consistent basis? Is that totally your guys' deal, or what would you recommend the rep do?
It's in our hands, but obviously, if you have a personal relationship of some sort with the person that you're referring, you know them, they're a business in your area, you can help during the process. But ultimately, we're trying to have a phone call with them, and then once you have your live link to see where everything goes, you're going to be able to see, hey, look, there was the update. They had the meeting, and agreement was sent, right? The agreement was sent. Now 7 days have gone by, and I don't see that stage updating to agreement signed. Right. So you can reach out to one of us at Bottom Line, myself, Alejandro, to say, hey, can you tell me what's going on with this? Because we can peek in and see the communication. And of course, if a referral partner can help, hey, you have any concerns? You want to get back on a call? What's happening? Obviously there can be help there. But it all has to be in a benign way, just to make sure that they understand that there's only a few things that need to happen in order to keep moving forward. Right. But the first would be to reach out to us so we can help the process.
Right. Because I've noticed that on the live link, the spreadsheet, that there's a lot of it's part of the process. It's going to happen with any pipeline, but there's no responses or not interested or something like that. And those are scenarios where you as the rep can come in and potentially reactivate that deal in some way, shape, or form. So it's really important to pay attention to that. Okay, so let me ask you that if you could put down one or two things that reps can do, aside from marketing, because we've got additional training on that. What are one or two things reps can do or add to their sales process to close more deals that you found to be successful?
Meaning once you've reached somebody and you're engaging with them?
Yeah, let's say you're at the beginning of the call, one or two different things that they can do to get that deal moving forward.
Obviously right away, you're trying to understand their business, where they're from, what they're doing, what industry they're in, right? Because if I talk to somebody that's in a restaurant, it's much different than if I talk to somebody in a doctor's office, and kind of understand from their perspective what kind of impacts they had, right? We know that doctors' offices, had to change the way they brought in, their patients. They had to do sanitizations, temperature checks, telehealth, they had to make lots of changes. So if I'm having a conversation with a certain industry, you want to get some information first. First of all, how many W-2 employees do you have? Did you take PPP loans? What state are you in? These are questions to understand just the elements of where they're coming from and what industry are you in, right? And if again, by spending time on the resource center, that certain businesses were impacted in certain ways, you can have an intelligent conversation and say, what I'd love to do is to get you scheduled for a call, 15-minute call, right? So that's the process in there, right?
So instead of doing going right for how amazing the ERC tax credit is and how much money they can get.
Yeah, I mean, and it changes also, if you're going in person, right? No one wants you to come up to them in their store and be like, excuse me, have you done your ERC, right? All right. When I go into a place, I'm genuinely interested in that place. I want to know how long they've been there. I want to know what they're selling. I want to know why I've never been in there before. And that evokes natural conversation. And the natural conversation is that they're a business with W-2s. And did they take PPP loans? And how was it coming out of the pandemic? And do you know about ERC? It's something that I work with a great company. And then if they've done it, they've done it. Congrats and awesome. If they're standoffish, try to take their information. Don't be too pushy. There's always another opportunity to reach out, but again, that's it. It's a natural conversation. Those are harder when they're cold outreaches, right? When you don't know the person, when you're just reaching out cold, those are harder ice to break. And I'm sure everyone knows that from their marketing days. But again, it's still the same conversation. It's just who's going to listen to you, right? And who's going to give you that time and who's going to enable you to make that appointment.
Right. And that's why with Elite Broker, which I'll have a link in the description, you guys can learn more about. We have an entire ERC marketing system specifically designed to get ERC deals into your pipeline. And then, of course, if you're in our industry, business loans, you're already interacting and building relationships with these business owners. So it's a pretty easy transition into that ERC tax credit. So a lot of opportunity there. But yeah, that's good stuff. I'd like to just kind of recap this really quick, give people a roadmap to closing more deals here. So first things first, we're talking about sales here, but you guys have to have a marketing system in place. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're cold calling, if you're doing Facebook ads, if you're doing in-person networking. You have to have a way of building your pipeline. If you don't have people to talk to, you can't help people with the ERC tax credit. You got to get your pipeline fixed first, right? Make sure you're getting leads on a regular, consistent basis. You can work on your sales process later, but you have to have more people to talk to. So focus on getting your pipeline up and running. We're happy to help you at Elite Broker with that. We have a ton of different ways to do that, but have multiple systems in place to build up the pipeline. The next thing is getting involved with the right company. I highly encourage you to get involved with Bottom Line Concepts. There's nobody else really that I would recommend. But regardless, whoever you decide to work with, make sure they provide you the tools, resources, and they're doing this correctly. Michael, on yesterday's call, you were talking about how some business owners have actually gotten in trouble with the IRS. That's why the IRS has come out with multiple warnings because people have done this process incorrectly, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the IRS took a while to kind of wake up to the new firms that were all entering the field. The first warning came out in October of 2021. They've now made 4 warnings up until now, right? So, and the last one was, again, that people are promising more money than they should get, qualifying on no real merit, not doing the work to show the proof of how the qualification is, pushing them into quarters they don't belong, and not advising them that there are tax consequences to ERC, meaning that it's a payroll refund. You're going to lose that deduction. There are some tax ramifications to ERC. So if a client does this and all of a sudden has no idea, it creates problems all the way down. So there's been a big crackdown and a big warning, and they're definitely going to go after these firms that are not doing it the correct way. There could never be more an appropriate time with all the conversation that's happened to work with a firm that has a great relationship with the IRS, that's been working with the IRS for 15 years, and that strives to be better with every single application.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. So pipeline, guys, get your pipeline right. Get on board with the right company. Strongly recommend Bottom Line Concepts. We have that link in the comment section below. Next is actually working on your sales process. All right. Practicing your scripts. Once you become a partner with Bottom Line, everything you could ever need to sell more ERC deals and close more ERC deals is right in that resource center. And I'll tell you, that resource center has come a long way, man. There's so much awesome stuff in there between the one-pagers and the FAQ right there. That's all you need, guys. That's going to give you like all the objections that are going to come up, because objections are really nothing but questions, right? They have a specific question they need answered, right? And you're going to be able to assign that to one of the questions in the FAQ. So getting access to that resource center with those FAQ, all those different questions that you can ask. And then focusing on actually getting to know the business, as opposed to just pitching the ERC tax credit right off the bat. Get to know the business. Remember, you're only introducing this to the business owner. Bottom Line Concepts is going to take it from there. Once you're basically selling an appointment. You're an appointment setter, right? So that's basically what you're doing here. And then BLC is going to take it from there, close the deal, and handle all the paperwork, all the filing, and make sure that it gets done correctly. So for me, that would be my sales roadmap for ERC pipeline: getting on board with the right company, tools and resources, and then getting to know the business. Remember, you're selling, you're introducing the ERC, not actually pitching it here. So I don't know. What do you guys think about? Would you add anything to that process? Anything I missed there?
No, everything sounds great. I do want Alejandro to show the personal marketing link so they understand how easy it is to refer to this link and how much information is there.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead. And then we have just a couple of questions here, and then we'll afterwards, and then we'll wrap up.
Right over here, guys.
There we go.
So the first thing you guys are going to be able to see when you guys are looking at these links right here, these are the links that are specifically encoded to you. And right over here, the first thing you'll notice is claim your COVID payroll refund with a bit of information on ERC. But as far as, when you scroll through, you'd be able to see some of our customers, a quick 2-minute video on ERC explains, some of the qualifying factors our advisors look for. But the process is really as easy as just clicking this link right here, get started. It'll take you to the very bottom, and it's very simple. You just follow the steps. Let's say you're speaking with a business owner over the phone, no problem. You'd go ahead and see right here, how many W-2 employees did you have in 2021? You just ask them that simple question. Let's say they have 30 employees. You click that right there, select their preferred language, and then just choose a day and time that works best for them, right? Ask them what day and time works best for you for a quick 10-minute phone call, 10, 15-minute call. As soon as this loads up, let's say they're available right here today, this very moment, no problem. The soonest appointment we could get you is at 4 o'clock. Click next, and then you just go ahead and put in their information, their first and last name, their emails, their phone numbers, the name of their company, and the number of employees. And then you just click schedule event. It's as simple as that.
And Alejandro, so they could either do that for the business owner, or they could send this link within their marketing as well, right? And it'll be assigned to that specific rep.
That's right. These are specifically encoded to you. So whether you're already speaking with that client, or whether you just wanted to send it to them via email, for example, let's say, no matter what, you will receive credit for it because these are encoded to you. That's
awesome. Do you guys find that deals are still taking, like the IRS is still taking between like 5 and 6 months to send the check out?
3 to 6 months. It depends. Sometimes it really does depend upon which agent has it and how long they're dragging their feet on something. It's the IRS, and that's kind of what we expect. But it's anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And some of the larger files will take a little bit longer to make sure they scrutinize a little bit more.
Well, they just got a massive pay raise, so they better stop dragging their feet, and actually put that money to use, for once. So, all right, good stuff, man. Is there anything else you guys want to share, talk about before we wrap it up with a couple of questions here? Or do we cover pretty much everything?
I think we covered everything pretty well. Listen, if you have any questions whatsoever, once you join, if you've already joined, if you're going to join, that's what our team is here for, right? We have a referral partner management team that's here for you guys to get you set up for success, to make sure we answer questions, to help you with your live links, help you with your visibility, right? So very simply, you're out there trying to help businesses. Right. Yes, you're going to make commissions, but you're helping businesses first. And it's a program that, if it's done correctly, can have a tremendous difference in somebody's life as a business owner.
It's huge. It's huge. And I was sharing this on the call yesterday, guys, that there was a member, a client of ours from Elite Broker that helped someone just get, it was a $2.3 million check from the IRS. I mean, that's just, imagine what that does for that business owner. I mean, obviously you make a ton of money on that deal, but imagine helping somebody get $2.3 million, what that would do for their lives, right? I mean, just, sometimes we don't realize the amount of impact that we have with what we do. And if you just sit down for a second, take 5 minutes to imagine, try and put yourself in that position. If someone just helped you get that much money, what would that do for your life, right? So you guys are making a huge difference in with these businesses. So with that said, just a couple of questions that came in here really quick. Let's see, we got one that's, let's see, how do you guys protect yourselves after the client gets paid by the IRS? How do you make sure that you guys get paid?
So very simply, we have an agreement with them in which they are supposed to pay their invoice within 5 days of receiving their check. Right. So it's an ironclad agreement. For the most part, there's no issues with people paying their invoices. They're grateful for the experience, just like in anything else. There always are some people that, take a little more time to do it, but we are patient with the process. We're trying to avoid having to go to any sort of legal situation, but of course we will if we need to.
Sure. Do you find that that's kind of a rare scenario that doesn't happen very often? It's like you said, people drag their feet a little bit, but most people will pay.
Yeah, people are a little confused sometimes. Do I have to pay right away? Do I have to bring everything? Do I have to pay on the interest? And the answer is yes for all of those. Again, you have to pay when you get it. But again, it's okay. We'll reach out to them. We'll talk to the client. We'll make sure they're comfortable with everything. And we want to make it a very positive experience all the way to the finish.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Fair enough. There was another one here about buyouts. So there's this thing called ERC buyouts, I guess, where it's like, what is it, bridge financing or whatever, where business owners can get their money a lot faster and not have to wait 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, all of those things are pretty they're pretty on the off and off as respect to, like, again, we don't do that. We're not pre-funding, right? Again, this is a serious filing. It's with the IRS. There takes time to get it. As far as other companies offering pre-funding with everything that's going on, with all the warnings, nothing sits right with that.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. Let's see. Do business owners who have received the PPP loan automatically qualify for ERC?
Not necessarily. Again, there's two ways to qualify: the revenue reduction, which is specific, and the change in operations due to government orders. The analysis on PPP first round was a lot looser because of everything that was going on. A lot of people didn't take the second round of PPP because they didn't have the revenue reduction necessary. So there's different ways of analyzing. But if they got PPP, there's certainly a person who's received government aid before and would be certainly happy to know that they qualify for more of it. Because it wasn't enough.
Right. And it wouldn't stop them from getting qualified. I think they would just get back a little less per W-2 employee.
Correct.
Right?
Basically, it's based on wages, and you're going to have to deduct out any wages. Both programs are based on the same wages. So any wages used for PPP must be subtracted from the calculation. And that's the very simple process of it. So we take the time period in which they can qualify. We take out the PPPs, and then what's left over is a specific conversion that we help the client with on their 941s.
Right, makes sense. Okay, last one that came in, and then we'll wrap this up. So they're just asking about the commission structure with Bottom Line. How does that work?
As far as when you join on with us?
Yeah, when someone joins on with you, what's the commission structure? How do they get paid?
Sure, you guys get 10% of whatever we collect from the client. Right. So simple process of that is, let's say you found a company with 100 W-2 employees, manufacturing firm. They had took 2 PPP loans. On average, they're going to get back $8,000 to $10,000. Right. So let's use that 10,000 number because it's nice and easy. 100 times 10,000 is $1 million. On that $1 million, if Bottom Line charges them a 20% contingency fee, right, the client will get 800. Bottom Line will collect 200, and you as the referral partner will make $20,000 of commission just for making the introduction and letting us take it.
Love it. All for one simple intro. I'll take it, man.
Simple stuff. We have people doing this, full time. This is their profession. They've gone all in. We've had people who are just trying to make a little extra to support families. So again, it's all about being in the right place at the right time, not only physically, but with your marketing efforts as well, and reaching the right candidate, and then let the conversation take place naturally.
Right. Absolutely. Sorry, do we have time for one more that just came in?
For you? Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. What's the best way to have clients with 200 plus employees and not getting docs in due to their accountants? So a question would be like when the accountant is getting in the way. Do you guys help reaching out?
Yeah, there's multiple levels of that question. So obviously CPAs and accountants can be a hindrance, and that can also be very helpful. There will be a hindrance if they're telling their clients they don't qualify when they possibly do qualify. Once we get into the process of collecting documentation, if a client needs their CPA in order to collect documentation, they probably need the support of the CPA, and sometimes that might create issues. But we'll work with the clients and figure out how to work with their CPA and them specifically in order to help them get the documents that we need.
Sure. Okay. Good stuff. Well, hey, I really appreciate your guys' time. Another awesome training. I always love doing training with you guys, man. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to work with you guys, helping all these business owners, and bringing the tools and resources to all of these reps, and really making a big difference. Everybody wins in this scenario. That's what I really love about it. So absolutely. I really appreciate your guys' time. I can't wait to do another training with you guys. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Definitely consider joining up with Bottom Line. At least have that conversation, see if it makes sense for you, and start crushing it. All right. So appreciate it, guys, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Talk soon.